Miriam's scared of the water. I don't know how she's gonna date a guy in the Coast Guard.
You know, we all get scared out there.
I'm not afraid of the water, Bernie. It scares me at night, that's all. You can't see what's underneath.
Just more water.
Station Chatham, you copy? I repeat, conditions hazardous. We've got an 18-foot fracture in our hull. How do you want us to proceed? Over.
I'd like to start by asking what initially attracted you to the script and the character of Miriam, this very strong, very confident character.
What attracted me to the script initially was the story of the rescue. It was, I mean, fascinating. So many lives saved on such a tiny boat, and it was something that I hadn't heard of before. And also the period 1950s in that small kind of rural coastal community was, that was something that intrigued me. And yeah, the idea of playing a woman of that time period that has the self-assurity to defy social conventions, and that was something that I was interested in exploring.
Sure. I mean, was it important for you for Miriam, because she's obviously not part of the main action, but she has her own action in a way. She's very upfront, and she has her own agency in a way. Was that important for you? Was that factor sort of an important thing for you? Yeah, important for me but I think more important for Craig and more important for the filmmaking, and that you don't want to be taken out of the story all the time, and so it's important that even that if you're detached from the story, that you're still having your own kind of through line. And I think Miriam in this it kind of plays an important role in kind of being the eyes of the audience in learning about the community, so about the Coast Guard community and about exactly what the job entails. And so yeah, I mean, it's going to be boring if you have the kind of the pining girlfriend on shore that it doesn't have her own storyline and through line and isn't fully rounded. It's a kind of Not relegated to the switchboard, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
How much pressure was there, not only on you but your fellow castmates, because obviously you mentioned this very legendary true story. I mean, how much pressure was there to get it right, to do these people justice?
Well, I think a lot. I think the script is really cleverly stays very true to the events of that day, and also even with the relationship between Bernie and Miriam, that was a lot of those events is genuinely how they met and how the relationship developed, and maybe not to the exact time period, but yeah. So that was, and so it was definitely. I mean, I felt like it was really important to sort of to do justice in a way to the character, because I'd met Bernie and Miriam's daughter and their granddaughters, and learn a little bit about the relationship and about her as a person, and so then it does give you this pressure of sort of feeling like you're not just doing it for the movie or for yourself, you're sort of doing it for them a bit.
They're saying this is gonna be the biggest storm that ever hit the East Coast.
It's gonna be hurricane strength in an hour.
Compass point you home.
Why'd you wait so long before you said yes to going out on the date?
I just didn't know if you'd be attracted to me.
You're exactly how I pictured you.
Yeah?
Better.
If we make it out alive from the depths of the sea.
What's this on the radio? Ship breaking up.
She's a T2 tanker, split right in half.
We got maybe 2-3 hours, and then we sink.
Where you are.
Chief, pick yourself a crew and you assist that ship. You hear?
That's why I signed up. Guess now's my chance.
The man in there don't know what he's doing. He's sending you out to die.
On the Coast Guard, they say you gotta go out. They don't say you gotta come back in.
In terms of research, I mean, how did you yourself sort of get into that 1950s headspace, and especially the Boston accent, which is very, very, very convincing accent?
Oh, thanks.
To that.
Well, that was hard. I mean, because I didn't really have an ear for that, apart from the kind of the Southie accent that you hear in gangster movies. But it took me a time to realise what it was, and so I went out early to Chatham, so primarily actually for to see if I could record someone to get the accent. And now it turns out that Chatham is kind of quite touristy and quite it's not the kind of rural Coast Guard town that I thought it was, or fishing town. But what was really helpful was meeting Patty to get into the sort of hear a little bit about Miriam. And also Patty introduced me to a contemporary of Miriam's, primarily for accent, but it ended up being really helpful in getting into that mindset of the 1950s of sort of the idea of being strong and being independent, but really having that still the strong family values and the idea of kind of standing by your man and the marriage and community being important.
Obviously, you're working alongside Chris Pine as Bernie, your partner, and you only share a handful of scenes, but they're very important, very, very, very strong scenes. I mean, how did you and Chris go about sort of sculpting that relationship, and was it an important factor for you both, knowing that the real life Miriam and Bernie stayed together for the rest of their lives?
Yeah, I think what was that was amazing, and what was important and what we both found so sweet and beautiful was the fact that they stayed together forever, and it was sort of an idea that they always knew they would, even from very first speaking on the phone, and that they'd had this relationship on the over the telephone before they even knew what each other looked like, and already on first meeting it was love before first sight, really, and that just that kind of, or it was sort of fated destiny of love was really sweet.
And what's Craig Gillespie like as a director? Obviously, he's directing these big, huge sequences, but also these more intimate sequences with your sort of part of the story. What's he like to work with? He's
just a dream to work with, because he kind of, we kind of had chatted about the character beforehand, so we knew, we had sort of set things already down that we sort of, didn't want her to cry until the end, wanted her to get the emotional, but still staying strong. And kind of, managing to kind of internalize it, and but then on the day we kind of, it felt like we had enough time to kind of play, so we would do, take after take, and Craig was never afraid to say, actually try it this way, and he always gave me, when he was happy, he always gave me a take at the end to just do something different, to just do whatever I wanted. So it felt like there was definite freedom to kind of play.
Gus, did Bernie go out on a rescue? I'm worried about him.
This isn't what any of the other girls do.
So?
No one's getting over the bar in this weather. It's a suicide mission.
Please tell me we're taking that boat to a bigger boat.
You don't know what it's like out there.
The compass is gone!
Please call him back in.
You can't be in here, miss.
I need all the help I can get!
We're supposed to get married.
You're gonna come in here scared every time he's out in the water?
Please call them back.
I'm not giving up on him. Not on my watch.
He's got his orders. Get her out of here.
You're sending him out to die.
Brace yourselves.